What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Night Terrors issue number 2, or Night Terrors Wonder Woman issue number 1. Sorry about that, but this one's written by Josie Campbell. The art and the main storyline is done by Juan Ferreira. The backup storyline was written by Stephanie Williams, and I'm drawing a blank on the artist, but when we get to that page, you can see the credit for it. But yes, this is another Night Terror storyline. This one actually feels more important than, say, the Nightwing or the Punchline one, because Diana was kind of there at the forefront. We have characters who are aware of insomnia at this point. I mean, John Constantine shows up, Detective Chimp shows up, and in terms of artwork, I want to give props to Juan Ferreira's artwork in this thing. I think in terms of illustrating and the style, I think this is probably the best looking Night Terrors issue we may have gotten so far. I think his work kind of fits this thing. I like his design for Constantine, and just the way the comic is kind of laid out with the panels and everything kind of overlaying each other. Like, look at this page for Existence. It's a 2-page spread, and you have panels here, but they're overlaying like this maze that the characters have to go through. And I think stylistically, that's an interesting choice, and it makes it visually more interesting, if you will. But the main storyline this time around is Constantine, Wonder Woman, and Detective Chimp are all trapped in this dream realm, the nightmare realm, if you will. They're trying to get through this maze to get to the source of the problems, and they have to face off against their biggest fears, if you will. Constantine's well aware of this, Diana's well aware of this, and Detective Chimp is as well. And they're kind of forced to kind of work together, face off against various things. There's some funny stuff from Constantine. Diana's biggest fear is kind of like herself. Constantine has his stuff. Detective Chimp has his bits too, and they're all kind of caught up in a really tough situation. Constantine, of course, he's aware of this stuff, but it still kind of gets to him in a way. Diana has her stuff, and look at the artwork right here, like the action sequences, like the way it's kind of done in terms of the illustrated style. I think this is, like I said, I think this might be my favorite in terms of art direction, in terms of Night Terrors. At least, like I said, it really pops the nightmarish creatures and all that. And man, if the Wonder Woman book was like as exciting as like this portion of the issue was, I'd probably enjoy it a lot more. But yeah, like I said, the main storyline I really liked. And then we get the backup, and the backup's just not quite as good. It's a Nubia-focused one. The Amazonians are asleep. I don't really think we needed the backup, but it is there for those who want to read it. But again, like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world. Written by Stephanie Phillips, art by Megan Hetrick. And like I said, it's not as interesting a story as what we had in the first one, or the main storyline. The artwork is still good. Well, still good. I think Juan Ferreira's artwork and the storyline, which they're trying to tell, and the visuals and all that, I just think it was visually more interesting and creative, and the action bits were good. And like I said, I liked portions where the panels were kind of, the comic book panels were overlaid over the maze. I think, like I said, that was interesting enough. It felt kind of creative, and I like that aspect to it. And this one, again, is Nubia going down this well and facing off against various monsters and her fear and all that. And it kind of ends like rather quickly, facing off against Gaia, and that's pretty much the issue in a nutshell. So main storyline, I think, was stronger. Wonder Woman facing off against these things, Detective Chimp being utilized here. They are at least aware of insomnia. He doesn't appear, I mean, fully in the issue, like kind of yelling at them, if you will, but they're all aware of him, and they know what they have to do to try and hopefully like salvage the situation. They know they're asleep at this point, and they know they're kind of caught up in this thing, and having the three of them kind of team up, I think, has potential to make for an exciting story. So I did overall like the Night Terrors Wonder Woman one. So far, the best Night Terrors issues of the week for me were the Superman and the Wonder Woman one, because again, they're more closely tied to the narrative. They're actually referencing insomnia, if you will. The other ones just didn't really feel like they added all that much to the overall story. Not to say that they're bad or anything like that. I just feel like you probably could skip them and you wouldn't really be missing out on much. Like Punchline, what am I really missing by that one? I mean, despite some really nice looking artwork. Or the Nightwing one, like I said, really nice looking artwork. The whole fears and insecurities, I feel like we've kind of done this before, because the Bat family constantly has faced off against Scarecrow over the years, and so they've been kind of subjected to this sort of stuff. It's just like, okay, what sort of spin can we kind of do on it? And insomnia is not really present in that one. And then the Catwoman one, honestly, her nightmares don't seem like that bad comparatively speaking to some of the other stuff she's dealt with in her book. In fact, she's making out with Batman. It's not like he turned into some distorted monstrous figure or anything to kind of mess with her, or pulling like a Stephen King's It, like the miniseries, when an example right here is when Ben Hanscom, like the adult, like John Ritter version, is thinks he's making out with Bev, and then it turns out it's actually Pennywise in disguise, like, kiss me, fat boy. Like something like that could have actually been funny if it was Selena, like, with Bruce, and then he turns into Insomnia or something like that, and just does something kind of funny like that, like a Freddy Krueger type character messing with him. Now that I think about it, wouldn't this have been a more exciting event if it was Freddy Krueger instead of Insomnia? I mean, Insomnia has that potential. It hasn't been really unleashed yet. Maybe when he gets the Nightmare Stone or something. But yeah, and the Nubia storyline, didn't really feel like we needed that one, because I feel like the main storyline was good enough. I think if you ended it right there, you went on more of a high note. But the other stuff just kind of felt like extra stuff. Just not as exciting extra stuff. Not to say that it's bad or the artwork is bad or anything like that. I don't think this is a bad comic book. In fact, I rather enjoyed at least the Wonder Woman, the main storyline, quite a bit. But the rest of it just didn't kind of live up to, I mean, the backup's not as good as like the main stuff. Again, sometimes with backups, they generally don't have as many pages, but sometimes backups actually outshine the main storyline. And I've seen it in a few comic books. It's not always the case, but I just feel like it could have been just a little bit more. But all things considered, I actually like this one. It felt like it actually added more to the Night Terrors storyline, much like the Superman one, because it felt more closely tied together, whereas some of the other ones just didn't really. So if you're going to read any Night Terrors comic books for the week, I say read Superman and Wonder Woman. They felt more important to the overall story. Things kind of were added a little bit, and there's some great looking artwork, especially in the Wonder Woman one. In fact, you know what? I'll give the Wonder Woman one, at least the main storyline, The Edge, is the best Night Terrors storyline of the week. And with that said, that's going to wrap it up for the Night Terrors comic books for this week. Only 5 this week, which, I love how I say only 5. So, and then after this, I'm going to try and cut to covering 2 of the other comic books that came out this week that I just haven't had the chance to sit down and read yet. But I'm going to try and read them. It's a World's Finest one, and then there's a Tales of Titans comic book. So I'll try to hopefully get those ones out today if I can. If not, they'll be out on Wednesday. So look forward to all that stuff. If you have any thoughts or comments, post them down below. Let me know what you thought of the comic book in general. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.